Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. It's Brother Yatazadak back once again with another live lesson. As always, giving all honor and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. To where Salakia today we're going to Jeremiah chapter 24. Salakia. Going into the Hebrew. So Lord willing, you're edified. Or Salakia 23. So Lord willing, you're edified. Give all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelite camp, has the 100% truth. We are in the latter days. We are in America, Babylon the Great. The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. Revelation 13:16 says he calls it both small and great rich report to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead. It's talking about the wicked of the earth, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The twin brother of a man named Jacob. We come from the seed of Jacob, right? Which is today the 12 tribes of Israel, also known as the Israelites, right? You have what are called Ishmaelites, those that come from Ishmael. So how is it so far-fetched that there's a nation today that comes from Israel, which was a man that became a nation? Or it was Jacob formerly, but then Israel, right? So all these ancient nations are here today. We have the ancient names, the 100% truth, the revelation of Yahushai Hamashiach, who you call Jesus Christ in ignorance. We're not talking about no white dog-haired Jesus. Jesus Christ, his name is Yahushai Hamashiach. You need to put some respect on his name. And like it says in the book of St. John, I believe it's 1 John chapter 4, which says that we are not ashamed of the testimony that the Lord gave concerning his son. All right? The Lord, his name is Yahweh. It's not Jehovah. It's not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem. It means in the name in ancient Hebrew language. Yahushai Hamashiach. That's who you call Jesus Christ. It's not Yeshua. It is not Yahushua. It's Yahushai Hamashiach. Hamashiach. All right, we are the Israelites, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans today. All right, those of indigenous, Negro, and Taino descent. All right, so we're dealing with according to the seed as it is written. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we are the children of the prophets. All right, and the Lord has gave us his marvelous light in order that we may prophesy about the happenings, the things that would transpire in these latter days, right? The RFID chip coming to pass. Most High God raining fire and brimstone upon America, Babylon the Great, via nuclear fire, ICBM missiles. 2/3 of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans will be coerced into taking the RFID chip. You're going to perish in the time of martial law, FEMA camps. When all these things come to pass, like scriptures say, they shall know that a prophet have been amongst them. Right? That's talking about our elders, those that came before us. Right? Which are the ancient men, right? That have starting with our elders and apostles at Great Millstone, Hebrew Israelite camp, that have been laboring for decades upon decades. Warning you, Jakes. Jake is short for Jacob. About the chip. About all hell breaking loose. Jacob's trouble. Salakia, that's what it's called. Jacob It's trouble. Not Bruce Lee's trouble. Not Ahmed's trouble. Jacob's trouble. All right. So let's get right into it. That's pretty much it for the introduction. All right. Um, so the header of this chapter is the coming. Says the coming Messiah, the righteous branch, which is Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son, right? Which we know according to reincarnation, right? He came back in past lives as Adam, Solomon, Isaac, right? Which was the father of that born the Edomites on the earth, the Jacobites. All right, and that's why it says in the book of Sirach that the Lord put off through Esau and blessed the tribes. All right, he put by Esau. All right, and another precept, I believe that's in the book of Hebrews. Or actually, that was what I quoted in the book of Hebrews, that he chose Jacob and he put by Esau, right? Because Esau was a carnal man. All right, he's also known as a man of sin. He's also known as the man of perdition, meaning destruction, a bad one. All right, but anyways, I don't want to keep the introduction too long. Salakia. Shalom, shalom. To you sincere Akim and Akwath, starting with the 144,000, which are the heads, teachers, and the great multitude that we delivered out of America, Babylon the Great. So verse 1 says, woe unto the pastors that cause to perish, or Salakia, that destroy and scatter unto the flock of my pastor, saith the Lord, which reads, Awaya, Rayam, Ma Abadium, Salakia. Trying to get situated. Ma Wama Patazayam Ata Tazahan Ma Rayatya Naam Yahabu. Salakia, I'm trying to get it situated. Bear with me 1 second. Verse 2 says, For so thus saith the Lord God of Israel, which is Alahaya Yasha Allah, Salakia, concerning the pastures that feed unto my people, even unto them thou hast scattered and unto my flock, and thou hast driven them away, and thou hast not visited unto them. Behold, I will visit upon you unto the evil of your ways, saith the Lord, which is the evil of your backslidings. Essentially, that's what it's saying. So it reads, Lakan ka amar Yahweh Alahaya Yashar Allah al Harayim Atha Amya Atham Hapatazatham Atha Tazaanya Wata Watadacham Wala'a Pakwadtham Atham Hanaya Pakwad Al Yakam Atha Rai Ma Al Yakam Naam Yahweh. Verse 3 says, so that's talking about these false pastors, right? IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari. These are false Hebrew Israelite camps. Man crept in unawares. 501c3 tax exempt false pastors. They eat up the flock, make merchandise of the people. And ultimately, like it says in the book of Micah, that those that do not feed their bellies, they make war against them. All right. So if you're not in these camps like ISUPK, and you're not in the truth, which is what they say, according to IUIC, if you have a wife that is in Islam, then you have to put her away, which is causing a man to commit adultery, that woman to commit adultery. Paul the Apostle said, if she be content to dwell with you, then let her be. You know, if she if the Lord puts it into her heart to repent out of that nonsense, then she'll do it. But if not, Paul the Apostle said, let her be. All right. And what's the other camp? Sakari, these men that show up to camp, which is where the word of the Lord is supposed to be preached. They show up with damn AKs, and which is off, right? Because the Lord said that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but to the pulling down of strongholds, which is the number one mission, is to pull down these spiritual chains that Esau Edom has put upon the people, right? Esau, the so-called white man, via his philosophies, commandments of men. All right. Christianity, we're not dealing with no damn Christianity. We're dealing with thus saith the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the volume of the book. All right. And that's what you have. You have some of our people still preaching Jehovah's wickedness, right? Which is the Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't have the correct doctrine because the white man created that religion. We're not dealing with religion. We're dealing with the worship of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and 100% truth. All right. Catholicism teaches you that you can be in a church and pray to a Virgin Mary and light candles around and pray at an altar where she is posted, when that's not scriptural. All right. So the Lord said, you have scattered my flock, driven them away, not visited them. We're testimony to that, because we came from these Christian Catholic churches where we weren't taught a damn thing, but to drink some wine, eat some bread, eat some bread, and John 3:16, St. John 3:16. Jesus loves everybody. That's not true. When the book of Revelation says that the Lord is going to visit the earth, visit the wicked. All right. In Jeremiah 23:3 reads, and I will gather, which that word kwabatazah means to heap up. Salakia. Bear with me 1 second. What did I just press? Salakia, bear with me. Just a moment. I don't know why I have it on the desktop version. So let's look at that word, kwabatazah, Strong's H6908, which is to take up, to grasp, to collect. To collect. To heap. All right. And that's what the Lord said, right? I believe that's Deuteronomy chapter 13. When dealing with these those that have familiar spirits, false prophets. You were according to the law, which we can't do today because we're not in our system. We're not running our own society. You're supposed to kobatazah, meaning and I believe in a Sepharia, it says you're supposed to obliterate or something to that extent, you know, but it really means just to heap up, right? So you're supposed to heap up. Let's get that real quick, actually. Deuteronomy chapter 13. Deuteronomy 13:1. If there rise among you a prophet or dreams, and give thee a sign or a wonder, the sign of the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of the prophet or that dreamer dreams, for the Lord your God approveth you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all of your heart and with all your soul. Right? So it says you're supposed to put him to death and stone him with stones. And it even says, verse 12, if thou shalt hear say in one of the cities which the Lord thy God have given thee to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and withdrawn the inhabitants of the city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which you have not known. Right? So it says, inquire, make search. Right? And if it is certain to smite this whole city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, the cattle, everything. right? You gather the spoil and you burn the fire with fire the city, verse 16, and all the spoil, and it shall be a heap forever and shall not be built again, right? And it says, none of the cursed things shall cleave into thy hand, so that the Lord may turn back his indignation. All right. And I believe somewhere in there that word is kwabatazah, meaning to heap, right? So you're supposed to gather all of it and just burn it. The men, the cattle, right? Which fire is a cleansing agent. You know, that's what the Levite men were commanded. The Levite priests, if their daughters had committed whoredoms, to burn them. You know, so it's not just Esau. It's not, we're not just talking about America, Babylon the Great, right? Ultimately, 2/3 are going to be in that burning lake of fire, which is America, Babylon the Great. You know, thermonuclear fire. All right, because the Lord is sending his men out to speak. The word is going out, and 2/3 are not going to get it. 2/3 will not be reformed. All right, because their God is Esau, their God is their belly. All right, they don't trust in the Lord of hosts. Right, the Lord is his name. All right. So let's go back. There's Kwabataza and there's Payat. From Kwabataza, Payataza means to scatter. All right. So it says, and I will heap up unto those that remain of my flock from all of the lands, which is Aratazath, which is countries, all the countries which into which I have driven them there, and I shall cause to return unto them upon their folds, which Nawab just means abode. All right. And they shall be fruitful and be become many. That's ultimately the elect being preserved, just like when you read about in the book of Revelation, when it was talking about the first World War, the Second World War. All right. Um, where it says that where the Lord commanded the angels not to destroy those that have the mark of the Lord in their foreheads. That's talking about the elect throughout time being preserved. But it does go through specifically into particular phases like World War One, World War Two. You know, because there were some of these Jakes fighting in these wars. Right? They did not yet know or had been woken up to the truth. You know, because it wasn't that time. All right, it wasn't that time of refreshing. Now is the time of the refreshing. There was particular times of refreshing, like the ancient Roman Empire, and now in the latter days, right? So the Lord preserved Jake because Jake, even we went. Or actually, I didn't go into it, but during my time studying, which I do a little bit here and there, you know, the Lord always said that there was a certain man, right, with the scribe of a pen, which through the spirit, it could have been an angel, could have been Yahweh Shai. I can't um, speculate. It was probably just an angel, right? Um, but he put a mark upon those that sigh and cry for the abominations thereof, which happened back then during when the Lord caused the Babylonians to invade the southern kingdom. And it's talking about the latter days as well, you know. So you got to be spiritual when you're reading these particular chapters, you know. Um, so the Lord has multiplied and preserved Jake either to the sword or to be delivered. 2/3, which it doesn't say here, but they have been preserved in order for the Lord to bring the sword, which is Esau Edom, and it is also Yahweh Shai, the holy angels, the chariots, you know, because they're going to be zapping Edomites, they're going to be zapping 2/3, right? Because the Lord said he's sending many fishers, and then he's going to send for many hunters. Esau Edom is going to hunt you. Those that do not take the mark of the beast, they're gonna invade one another, which includes 2/3, includes other nations, other Edomites that rebel against his new system coming. All right. And you hear precepts in particular about the glittering sword. That's talking about the ICBM missiles. All right, which they couldn't be described any other way. All right, that sharp sword that came out of Yahweh Shai's mouth is the judgment, and it's what we're speaking, which is the judgment, because the Lord has given us a sharp sword, meaning the understanding. But that sharp sword coming out of his mouth is the lasers from the chariots as well, like it says in the book of Saint Habakkuk, that their in their horns was their power. All right, because the angels, according to the book of Ezekiel, right, they're manned aircraft, but the angel, the spirit of fire, which is the holy angel, is actually in the fourth dimension. There's like I'm speaking as a man because I've been recently meditating on that. There's a doppelganger of that angel, which is in the fourth realm, which is in the third in the physical realm, manning the aircraft, and then the aircraft is a whole is being controlled by by that doppelganger per se, and the angel can beam up, beam down, but it's actually being manned from the heavens. So Esau does not stand a chance, because you can't shoot at the angel unless he has weapons that shoots in the fourth dimension. But where the hell is he going to shoot? Even if he hits one of the man crafts or the doppelganger of the angel, the holy angel, it's really just fire, and that's what Esau's weapons consist of. Because the holy angels, their spirits of fire. So what are you gonna do, Esau? Are you gonna spray water on it? You know, you don't stand a chance. You goddamn devils do not stand a chance. And scriptures say that wherever even if the angel teleports from the chariot, meaning it gets beamed down, it has like a laser guided system to where it walks on the earth. It's right above it, and that's not really the physical angel, because it's being manned via the heavens. Because the book of Ezekiel describes, he said, I saw the appearance of something in the heavens, um, on the in the thrones, in the thrones of God, and his loins upward was like fire. You know, So, and that's it says what it says, you know. So it says, verse 3, wa anya a kwabataza atha sha'aryath taza anya makol ha ratazath ashar hadaktaya atha sham waha shabatya or salakia waha shabtaya, because it's shawab, to return, right? Meaning, so this actually says, and I will cause to return unto them. All right, which is Atahan al Nahan wa Parwa wa Rabwa. Verse 4 says, Salakia, just bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to check on something real quick. Salakia, just bear with me. Akim and Akwath. Trying to see something real quick. All right. Verse 4 says, and I will raise up upon them shepherds, and they shall feed them, and they shall not fear any more, and they shall not be dismayed, and they shall not be lacking, which that word is appointed, quad, meaning they're not going to be appointed to destruction, to confusion, because the remnant, they're going to wake up, right? And they're going to find the camp that has the right doctrine, which is Great Millstone Hebrew Israelite camp. Because some of us came up in these other camps, but the Lord led us to where the spirit of truth is, not the spirit of error. And right, so Tawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, for giving us our elders and apostles, right? Great Millstone, Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Rakah, Elder Apostle Ramlab, Elder Apostle Kabar, Tawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So it says, saith the Lord, which reads, Waha Kwamtaya Al Yaham Rayam Wa Rayam, or Salaka Wa Ra'am Wa La Ya Ra'a Ya Salaka Ya Ra'awa Awad Wa La Yakhatwa Wa La Ya Pakwadwa Na'am Yahweh. Verse 5 says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and I shall raise up unto David a springing up righteous, which is here it's branch, but tazamach means literally to spring up. All right. To spring forth, spring up. Which is Yahushai Hamashiach, who you call Jesus Christ in ignorance. And a king shall reign, and shall have insight, and he shall be insightful, which is Yahweh Shai. He brought parables, dark sayings that really nobody was supposed to get back then, but now we've been given the understanding, you know, which is why you got to watch the videos, right? Keep your ears to the streets, like they say. Always pitching doctrine, always studying. You gotta hit them books. That's what the truth is about. Hitting them books. All right, which is the volume of the book, right? Which it says in the book of Psalms that it says my members are written in the book, which is talking about Yahweh Shai, but it's also talking about the elect, because we're gonna take heed, we're gonna understand, right? Because we're also written in that book, right? Which is why Yahweh Shai said, I am the resurrection. We're the resurrection as well, and the life, because we have life via the word. All right, and not everyone is supposed to get that. All right. So it says, and he shall perform judgment and righteousness in the earth. Like it says in the book of St. Malachi, uh, the messenger of the covenant shall suddenly appear. Yahweh Shai, he just, he came in the scene, and people were, Jake was confounded. They were saying this man is doing miracles. What is he talking about? He's speaking with authority. And that's what ultimately they're saying about the servants of the Lord. Where do these guys come from? Who gave you that authority? Who do you think you are? Which the Lord gave us the authority to preach, teach, and break down the word. All right. Because we got the insight, right? We're performing that judgment, which shall be spoken first and then executed via the day of the Lord, and righteousness in the earth, or justice, because that's what Tazadak means. It means justice, right? Justification. There's other words that are synonymous with justice, justification. To be justified. We're justified in our sayings. All right. So it says, Hana, Yam Yam, Ba'ayam, Na'am Yahweh, Waha, Kwam Taya, La Dawar, Tazamach, Tazadayak, Wa Malak, Malak, Waha, Shakial, Wa Aisha, Mashapat, Wa Tazdaka, Ba Aratazah. You goddamn devils, I believe you're blackballing my lives, because it says 0 views, and then it says different when I go to make the video public. Goddamn devils. Verse 6. In his days ye shall be saved, Judah and Israel shall dwell unto security, and this shall be his name which they shall call him, the Lord our righteousness. Right? Because what does the prophet Isaiah, the book of the prophet Isaiah says, the Lord is our righteousness and our justification. He said, the Lord, that's what it says in the book of Isaiah. The Lord said, the righteousness is of me. Right? So we're not gonna be perfect, we're still gonna be subject to sin, but ultimately you will know the elect because they're gonna be speaking the right thing. which is beyond what the Pharisees were doing back then. And the modern day Pharisees today, which you had righteous Pharisees and you have wicked Pharisees. I'm talking about the wicked Pharisees because Paul, the apostle, was a Pharisee. But that same spirit of these false, hypocritical Pharisees you read about in the New Testament, a lot of them are in that same spirit is in IUIC. Because that's what you hear them ask the brothers that come up to the camp, the first thing, where's your fringes? Where's your fringes? And Paul the Apostle was never about that. He was about building Jake up in the faith that was returning. You know. So that's part of the mission, is to build you up in the faith. Right? We're not just gonna have you come into the truth and keep the Passover and keep the law, keep all the laws, because you don't even know them yet. We got to go over them, and we got to have you study the word. That's why the council in Jerusalem consisted of what? Jake, knowing that there's particular things he shouldn't be doing while he's coming into faith, like sacrificing unto idols, eating things sacrificed unto idols, and eating blood. And the scriptures say, as it is written, why? Because Moses in every synagogue is preached, right? Shortly paraphrasing, it said, and they shall hear him, you know, which is the law. All right. So it says, Ba Yam Yahweh, Fashai, Yahawada, Wa Yashar Allah, Yashakan, La Patach, Waza, Shamwa, Ashar, Yahweh Awa, Yahweh Tazadak Nawa. Verse 7 says, For so, behold, the days coming, saith the Lord, and they shall not say any more, He lives, the Lord, which brought up unto the sons of Israel from the land of Egypt. Woo! This is a good chapter. I forgot. This is the latter day. This is future prophecy. This is kingdom type stuff. So it says Lakan Hana Yam Yam Ba'ayam Naam Yahweh Wala'ah Ya Amarwa Awad Chaya Yahweh Ashar Ha'ila Ata Banya Yashar Allah Matazarium. Because lo, the Lord liveth, which brought up and which called to enter into the seed of the house of Israel from the land of north, as in from out of the land of the north, and from all the countries which they were driven there, and they shall dwell upon their land. All right, because you have the elect being delivered, beamed up in America, Babylon the Great, and then they're going to be placed back into their own land, given the angelic bodies, spiritual power, immortality, and then you're going to have during the third woe, which is World War III, when the Lord scorches the earth, you're going to have Isaiah 11:11, Jake, a small remnant of Jake, smaller than the great multitude, if you can understand, coming out of America, Babylon the Great. They're going to be preserved during World War III, and when we get back into the Holy Land, we're gonna go and gather them up. The Lord's going to preserve them somehow, some way. We're going to scoop them up in the chariots, like as Scripture says in the book of Isaiah. We're going to fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines. That means you're going to see these chariots are going to go throughout the earth and pick up Jake. So you're going to see chariots flying the coast. The Philistines is were these Hamitic tribes, which is called Palestine today. So there's a confusion, right? Esau, the Romans, they changed the land of Israel's name into Palestine, which is really Palestine is Israel, but the biblical Palestine, land of Palestine, was south of Israel on the coast, which was the Philistines, which was part of the Hamitic clans, which are the so-called Africans, not the Negroes. The Jews, right, come from the Negroes. The Hamites are the biblical Africans. So they look different. They have different customs. They got different flavor. They got different mannerisms. They're not the same people. All right. Um. So it says Kaya Aim Ya Yahweh Ashar Ha'ila Wa Ashar Ha Baya'a Atha Zorai Bayath Yashar Allah Ma Arataza Tazapana Wa Makal Ha Ratazath Ashar Hadachtayim Shum Wayashabwa Al Adamatham. The next header of this chapter is false prophets denounced. Salakia, bear with me 1 second. Salakia, trying to get situated at the moment. Anyways, no, you be quiet. No, you be quiet. Inside joke. No, you be quiet. No, you be quiet. Jeremiah 23:9. Bear with me 1 second. Jeremiah 23:9. It says, For those that prophesy have broken my heart, which is the false prophets. Because we hear some of these things that these other camps say, these other men, and it kind of, that's another way to say, we're vexed by their words. Because here we are laboring, like here we are laboring, doing our due diligence, and then you got men trying to cause confusion, trying to sow discord, because there's a difference between calling out the hypocrisies of particular men, and they can't come up with a good good answer to correct their doctrine. Because if you have the truth, someone calls you out, you're going to say, well, wait a minute. This precept says this, and I'm justified by this. But they haven't done that because they're proud, they're going off, and they don't got the spirit. IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, these other Hebrew Israelite camps that have 501c3 tax exempt status, like your local Christian and Catholic pastor. All right. So it says, it has broken my heart within me, right? Rachap, which that word actually means to hover, It's another way to say to moved, right? Which is what it says here, a shake, right? My heart, it is broken, my heart within me, it shakes. All my bones call Itazamtaya, right? I am become like a man drunken, Shakar, and like a warrior that is overcome with wine, which Ibar means to pass or to pass by, or basically beyond the limit of moderately drunk wine. Ibar, Yayan, right? Because that's the plan of these false pastors is to right overwhelm Jake with 3 hour breakdowns. We're gonna break down the mark of the beast. We're gonna do a 4 hour live stream. We're gonna bring 333 precepts. We're gonna have a preceptathon. That's not what it's talking about. All right. Like a man, like a warrior overcome by wine. And that's the mindset. That's the prophet Jeremiah was trying to give you an idea of what Jake is being exposed to, or what Jake would be exposed to in these latter days. All types of confusion, all types of wayward doctrines. Paul the Apostle warned the flock against such a thing as well. You know? And we're warning you about it as well. Did not Paul the Apostle said that men shall come in unawares? All right? So he said, from before the Lord and from before the words of his holiness. Right? And ultimately, that's twofold, because you're gonna if you're not in the right spirit, then you're not gonna be able to contain such understanding, because you're gonna be drawn this way, you're gonna be drawn that way. That's why we watch other camps' videos, but we don't recommend you, Jakes, to do that. But you're welcome to if you think you can handle all these different doctrines. But really, we just keep an eye mainly on Great Millstone. But it really is up to you to study and bear witness to who's really speaking the truth. Because we're not going to sit there and watch every single IUIC class when we know that they went off on particular things, or let's say another camp is full of controversy. We don't have time for that. All right, because we're studying ourselves, and mainly the book of Saint Malachi says that they spoke often one to another. That's what we're supposed to do when we do these breakdowns, the sit downs, whatnot, preaching on the highways and byways. All right, we're supposed to watch. All right, and feed the flock as well. All right, which is why the prophet Jeremiah said, "He's like a man whom wine never overcome, because of the Lord and because of the words of his holiness." Because the Lord is causing some of you Jakes to go off. But the word is ultimately going to be your guide. Like it says in the book of 2nd Esdras, it says in the book of Revelation, right? Here are those that keep the commandments and precepts of the Lord. That's in the book of Revelation. The book of 2nd Esdras, I believe that's chapter 16, it says, "And the God of those who keep my commandments and precepts." That's the volume of the book. Your guide is the word. We are just supplementary. You see, the word is going to guide you to the truth. The voice of the Lord, because what we're speaking what's in the book. It's not us, it's the prophet, the prophets speaking through us, which is the Lord. If you understand, because when we read particular verses, those are the prophets, which the prophets are those particular men, that were prophets, that were those particular prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah. They're back today, but we're putting life into these words by speaking what these men spoke about and then expounding on it, which is the voice of, which is the Lord made all of that. You see, if you're not meant to contain uh such wonderful things and understand them and be able to rightly divide them, then you're gonna bug out. That's what our job is to do the heavy lifting via and the internet, for it to do the heavy lifting. We're sacrificing our lives, our time, in order for you to sit back and get the word and study as well. All right. So we're not sitting there watching all the IUIC videos. Okay, maybe they might say something. They might speak some truth. No, that's not how it goes. All right. No way, Jose. Okay. Um. So it says La Nabaayim Nabaayim Na Shabar Labia Ba Korabia Rachabwa Kol Itazam Taya Itazamathya Hayayathya Ka Ayash Shakar Waka Gabar Ibarwa Yayan Mapanya Yahweh Wa Mapanya Dabarya Kwadashwa. Verse 10 says, because of adulteries it is full the land, because from before the curse, which is al-ha, which is another way to say swearing, right? Because a false oath is a curse, because you're lying on the Lord, which is one of the 10 main laws, to not use the Lord's name in vain, which really that word shawah means to deceive. So you're not supposed to use the Lord's name to deceive. You're not supposed to, that's a false oath. The Lord said he hates false oaths. Yahushai, he also said that do not swear by heaven and earth. All right, because you're just supposed to speak the right thing. You're not supposed to say, let's say we open up and we say, okay, the Lord gave me a vision, and it's not, you're not going to find it in Isaiah. It's not in the Bible, but I swear by the Lord, God of Israel, that he hath given me this vision. No, that's not how it works. All right. That's off as hell. That's why the Lord drove Jake out, because Jake was dreaming dreams and right, trying to bring their own, trying to calm the people, trying to cause them to be at peace, to feel in safety back then, right? So no. And that's scriptural. The prophet Jeremiah, he said that when that prophet, and that's in the book of Deuteronomy as well, when the prophet speaketh something and it comes to pass, then he's a true prophet. But if he speaks it and it doesn't come to pass, do not give heed unto them. But Deuteronomy chapter 13 says, beware of men that speak things and show wonders, but then they say, let's go after other gods. You see? But ultimately, right, the prophet Jeremiah said, the prophets of me and those that came before me, right, spoke against war, pestilence, not of peace, because the Lord didn't send the prophets to speak peace. It was always about, the prophets always came on the scene when shit was about to hit the fan, right? Like the cool mist, the in the midst of the garden, the cool breeze in the midst of the garden. Noah, he was prophesying of the destruction that the Lord would bring at that time. And also in the book of Genesis, like I said, that the cool breeze in the midst of the garden, the Lord wasn't walking and, he didn't walk into Adam, run into Adam and say, hey, it's me, the Lord. I heard you ate the fruit. No, that was his servants. He had prophets back then that showed up. And, it doesn't, because the book of Genesis was compacted. All right. It didn't have to say, well, a certain man dressed in the attire of a holy man came and he said, thus saith the Lord, Adam, why did you eat that fruit? No, because the book of Genesis is compacted history, right? So it says, so because of the curse or swearing, right? Mourneth the land, Abalaha Ratazah. They are dried up, the desirable things of the wilderness. Right? Because when Jake was in the land, it wasn't a wilderness, right? It was green, and even the wilderness was it was beautified, had its beauty. It wasn't desolate as today, because if you go to the land of Israel today, they got to transplant trees there, and the Lord had made that place a desert. But when the Lord places us back in that land, right, the true people of the Lord, scriptures say that area is going to flourish. It's going to everything's going to turn into springs, which Ishmael tries to do that by cloud seeding and things of that sort, right? But when the Lord sets us back in that part of the earth, right, all of that is going to turn into greenery. All right. So when we get there, even the wilderness surrounding the land of Israel is going to be it's going to be like, there's going to be springs, Slovakia. Etc., etc. And it says, and it's become their course, which this really means their acceptable things, is become evil, and their might is not so, as in their might is not right, because Gabar means warrior, man, or the might, you know. Their might is not so. Their might is not right. So it says, Kaya ma naapium mala'a ha arataza kaya mapanya alha abala ha arataza yabashwa na awath madabar wa thahaya ma ratazatham raya wa gabartham la'a khan. 11 says, because even the prophet, even the priest is corrupt, hanap, which that means corrupt, defile, pollute. Even in my house, I have found their evil, as in their wickedness, saith the Lord. Because you have Rai, which means evil or pain, and then Rashai means wickedness or wicked. But when you go into the root, it means guilt, of guilt. So the wicked are guilty. The righteous are justified, tazadak, if you understand, right? So it reads, Kaya gum nabay, nabaya gum kahan khanapwa gum pa payathya ma taza'athaya raitham naam Yahweh. Verse 12 says, for so it shall be their way unto them, like unto a slippery way, or Salakia, like unto those that slip in gloominess, because Paul, when you go into the root word, it means Salakia, thick, dense, darkness, gloominess. All right, or you have Paul, which means obscurity. All right. Salakia, let's see if I got. Actually, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really got no notes to bring out. So it says, together, right, like unto those that slip in gloominess together. That's what the Lord is going to do with 2/3. He's going to turn their way upside down. That covenant with death is not going to save you. That covenant you made with Esau, the heathen, is not going to save you, because they're gonna end up having to save themselves when the famine hits. When you right, because every man. This is why the Lord said, every man's work shall be rewarded according to his works. Because you're the test of whether you take the charagma or not, is going to come upon the whole earth. So you're not going to have Esau take the charagma or not for you and feed you. The Lord is going to make this an individual thing eventually. He's going to separate. He's already separating the sheep from the goats. 2/3 from the elect, right? And then ultimately, the Lord is going to further divide the nations as well. All right. So it says, and they shall fall in it. The slippery ways is what? Whether you take the charagma or not. Is whether you keep following this world or the Lord. And we know what the nations are going to do. They're going to follow their belly. All right. Jake is going to either conform to the ways, to the image of the beast, which is his new system coming, or the image of the Son, which is the elect are going to conform to the image of the Son. All right. Because if you don't, you're going to fall upon slippery ways. You're going to fall. The Lord is going to cause you to fall upon your own recompense. And you're going to fall, and he's going to recompense upon your own heads, whether through the ICBM missiles, whether when all hell breaks loose, right? When one house starts invading another, right? Scriptures say that you're gonna escape the pit, and then you're gonna fall into another snare, and then if you make it after that, serpent's gonna bite you, which that goes into something else as well. That goes into these other countries that have teamed up with Russia, right? That have teamed up. These other countries that like China, Iran, that have teamed up, and they're gonna cause particular events to go down as well, right? So you're not gonna escape. Okay, you're not gonna escape. You are not going to escape. So it says, so it says, because I will bring upon them the evil, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. All right, even these false pastures, eventually they're not going to be able to keep up the guys, right? They're going to be not going to be able to keep up with their lies. They're going to be exposed. They're going to be confounded. They're already being exposed. This is why Paul the Apostle said, Yahweh said, you shall know them by their fruits. Paul the Apostle said there must be heresies in order for you to know those that are approved amongst you. All right? So this is why the Lord has to bring judgment. Because he's eventually, the Lord is going to get tired of Jacob lying on the Lord. And we're tired of Jake lying on the Lord. You're lying on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. You're lying against the heavens. If you're in his ministry, speaking lies, scriptures say that do not be many masters, because they shall receive the greater condemnation. That's where you Ezekiel chapter 14 says that he that seeketh unto the false prophet, his punishment shall be even as that false prophet. Bishop Nathaniel, uh, um, Elder or Salakia, I forgot what his name is. See, we're not worried about you false brethren. General Yahana, you know, Chief Priest Alazar from the Sakari. So it says Lakan Yahaya Darakam Laham Ka Halak Lakath Ba Apala Yahadwa Wa Napalwa Baha Kaya Abaya'a Al Yaham Raya Shanath Pakwatham Naam Yahweh. Verse 13 says, and in the prophets of Samaria I have seen a falling away. They prophesied in Baal, and they caused to wander into my people, into Israel, which is Waba Nabayaya Shamaran Ra'ayathya Thapala Ha Naba'awa Baba'al Wa Wayathaiwa Atha Aimya Atha Yashar Allah. Jeremiah 23 and 14 says, in the prophets of Jerusalem I have seen a horrible thing, which Sha'ar just means like division, right? If fearful. Let's look at that root. Gatekeeper, figuratively to estimate. Doorkeeper, porter. But let's look at the root. To cleave, to divide. Right? So that's what the Lord saw. Divisions, right? Even in the prophets of Jerusalem, which is talking about Southern Kingdom, which they're supposed to be the head tribes. Right? The heads, right, were going off right along with the tail, which is the Northern Kingdom. All right. And it's not a shameful thing to say that. Because our brethren were given just like Reuben. Reuben was supposed to have the elder blessing, but the Lord gave it to Judah. You can't argue against the Lord. All right. That's the same mindset that divided the tribes in the first place. Oh, we're not the heads. We're the top tribe though. That's not how it works. See, the Lord gave an order, and that's the problem with those in Israel today. Meaning, in the truth, you don't have a problem with us. You have a problem with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and with the order that He gave. So it says to commit adultery, na'ap, right, and walk in falsehood, and They strengthen the hands of the evildoers, which Mariam just means evil ones, to not return, to not cause a man to return, to not cause to return a man from his wickedness, or Salaki, from his evils, which is, it means from his evil ways, and there are become unto me all of them like unto Sodom and the inhabitant and her inhabitants, meaning the inhabitants of Jerusalem, like unto Gomorrah. You know, the Lord is not saying Jake was being Jake. The Lord's not calling Jake Mose, but what did the men of Sodom and Gomorrah do? They're trying to pop the angels. They were trying to. They didn't respect the fact that Lot was a stranger dwelling amongst them. You know, because you got certain tribes, just because you don't look like them or you don't speak their lingo, you know, they're not going to respect you. You know, but we're talking about men in the world. In the truth, we know there's an order. We know, all right. We know the way that the Lord gave. So there shouldn't be there's no excuse. You have no excuse. Because now it's been given unto you the truth. And we're handing out reproofs. Right? So it says, Waba Naba'aya Yerushalayim, which it actually means, it doesn't mean prophets. It means and those that prophesy, right, in Jerusalem. Yerushalayim, Ra'ah, Yathya, Sha'ara, Na'ab, Wa Halak, Ba Shakwar, Wa Chazakwa, Yedya, Marayim, Labal, Labal Taya, Shabwa, Ayash, Mara Athwa, Hayawa Laya, Kalam, Basadam, Wayashabya, Ka Imara. Verse 15. Salakia, just bear with me 1 second. All right. So you Jakes, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. All right. So you have no excuse. Okay? The Lord gave the way and the word, and great was the company of the men that published it. All right, which is starting with 144,000 and the great multitude. All right, the Lord gave the way. Deal with it. If you don't like it, then go join Ishmael and worship of damn rock. All right. The scriptures say the Lord doesn't need a sinner. All right. The Lord hath no need for a sinner. How about them apples? All right. So it says, Verse 15, for so thus saith the Lord God of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed unto them with wormwood and cause them to drink of the water of gall, because from the prophets of Jerusalem cometh out corruption unto which cometh out corruption unto all of the land. All right. And I was talking about the false prophets, men that were not speaking the right thing, causing Jake to be at ease, right? So it says, Lakan ka amar Yahweh tazaba'ath al ha naba'ayim, which says concerning those that prophesy, all right, behold, I, Hanaya ma akyal atham la aina waha shakwathium maya ra'ash kaya ma'ath nabiyaya Yerushalayim ya taza'ah chanapa lakal ha-ratazah. Verse 16 says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, it says, do not hearken upon the words of the prophets, or Salaki, do not hearken upon the words of those that prophesy, those that prophesy unto you a vanity. They unto you have envisioned that which is unto their heart. They speak not from the mouth of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, which says, Ka Amar Yahweh, Tazaba'ath, Al Tashamai Wa, Al Dabarya, Ha Naba'ayim, Ha Naba'ayim, Lakam, Ma Chabalim, Hama, Atakam, Chazan, Labam, Yadabarwa, La'a, Ma Paya Yahweh. Verse 17 says, surely they say, unto those that provoke me, speak. He had said, or Salaki, he had said, not speak. He had said, the Lord, or Salaki, he has spoken the Lord peace, right? Which shall be unto you, and all go in their perverseness, and the perverseness of their heart. They say, it shall not come upon you evil, right? Which is what these other camps are not doing. They're not speaking the focal point of this ministry, which is what? The RFID chip is the mark of the beast. World War III is coming. Martial law, FEMA camps, right? World economic collapse, right? Currency being digitized, all right? Universal basic income, right? The digital system, which is being introduced via the form of gradualism, all right? But you damn jakes, you're so dense in the damn head, you don't know your head from your behind. So it says, Amar, Lama Na'atazaya, Dabar Yahweh Shalom, Yahaya Lakam, Wakal Halak, Ba Sharath, Labwa, Amarwa, La'a, Taba'a, Aliyakam, Raya. Verse 18 says, because who had stood in the assemblage of the Lord, which is another way to say council, right? But this really means assembly. Council is Aitazah. Yasad or Sawad, it means an assemblage, right? Which is where you assemble for council. Or Quahal would be an assembly, right? And there's so on and so forth, all right? Which you could just say assembly, who had stood in the assembly of the Lord. I was just trying to sound a little fancy, the assemblage. And has and has seen and has heard unto his word, and who has hearkened unto his word and has heard it, right? So we see, we perceive, we not only do we hear the truth, we perceive what the truth is because of the spiritual binoculars we have on. All right, we hearken, we're right. That's talking about us, the hopeful elect, the sincere, like Paul the Apostle said, with unfeigned love. Unfeigned love means you're not moved by the inventions of the heathen, by these false jakes, these false men, right? Immediately when you see something that's not right, your spiritual antenna goes up. All right? So it says, Kaya Maya Imad Basawad Yahweh Waya Ra'ah Waya Shemai Atha Dabarwa Maya Ha Kwashiab Dabarwa Waya Shemai. Verse 19 says, behold, the whirlwind of the Lord, the fury, it's gone out. And tempest, it's like a whirlwind, because sawap is tempest. Sayar means whirlwind, right? And the whirlwind, painful, is upon the head of the wicked. The whirlwind painful upon the head of the wicked, which is painful. Which that word chal just means to sicken. Because that's what when the missiles hit. Scriptures say that the waters, the creatures of the sea shall die. You're going to have nuclear fallout, and you're going to take the charagma, and you're going to get cancer from the radiation. You're going to get cancer from the missiles. All right. So it says, Hana Sa'arath Yahweh Hama Yataza'ah Was'ar Matha Halal Al Ra'ash Rashayim Yachal. Verse 20 says, it shall not return the anger of the Lord, even until he have performed, and even until he had raised up unto the device, unto which is devised of his heart. In the latter days thou shalt understand upon it in understanding. All right? So peace is not coming. The Lord is not going to cause these things to stop. He's not going to. Okay, you Edomites, you so-called white people, you heathens, you can't stop this word because it's already. What does it say in the book of Psalms? That the word of the Lord is settled in the heavens. Now it's just playing out in the physical realm. You can't stop this truth. You goddamn devils cannot stop this truth. That's talking. That's like you saying you're gonna stop God. Are you out of your are you out of your noodles? The answer is yes. You are out of your mind. You are crazy. And why is that? Because you got demons on you. All right? So it says La'a Shawab Ap Yahweh Ad Ashathwa Wa'ad Ha-Kwayamwa Mazamath Labwa Ba Haryath Ha-Yum Yum Tha Tha Banawa Salakia Tha Banawa Baha Bayana. The Lord said, verse 21, I have not sent unto the prophets, unto Salakia, unto those that had prophesied, right? As in those that had prophesied in this manner of way. And they um and they even ran, and I have not spoken unto them. And they prophesy. Which reads La'a Shalach Thaya Atha Ha Naba'ayim Waham Ratazawa La'a Dabar Thaya Al Yaham Waham Na Ba'awa. Verse 22 says, and lo, or Salakia, and if they had stood in my counsel, and if they had heard unto my words, and unto oh shit, Salakia, bear with me 1 second. And lo, they stood in my counsel, and they have heard unto my words, or Salakia, and if they had stood in my counsel, and they have caused to my words unto my people, or Salakia, if they have caused to hear my words unto my people, as in if they have caused to hear unto my words to my people, and then they should have returned from their way evil, and from the evil of their backsliding, which is wa'am amalwa basadya wayeshamaywa dabarya ata amya wayeshabam madarakam harai wa marai ma alayaham. Verse 23 says, "A God near am I, saith the Lord, as in, am I not a God nearby, and not a God afar off?" Which reads, Ha alahaya ma korab anya naam Yahweh wa la'a alahaya ma rachak. Lo, can he be hidden, a man in his secret things? And I have I not seen it, saith the Lord. Did not unto the heavens and unto the earth I feel it, saith the Lord. So the Lord is not is the Lord the Lord's not playing, man. All right. The Lord is saying, right? It's like the Lord is saying he there's a precept in the Bible that speaks about something to the effect of and that's where Esau got this proverb that if a tree falls in the forest, does a man hear it? Yes, the Lord, because the Lord caused that tree to fall. All right. So it says, I'm Ya Satar Ayash Bama Satarim Wa Anya La'a Ara'a Nawa Na'am Yahweh Hala Atha Ha Shemayim Wa Atha Ha Rataza Anya Mala'a Na'am Yahweh. All right. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go back live in a moment and finish this chapter off. So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Brakatham. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Right? It's Brother Yatazadak, hero of Israel. And as always, Lord willing, you were edified, giving all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwame Sha'ala, Abba Babal, Shalom.